Unit 2.3. Starting with the first objective, explaining the causes of the growth of networks of exchange after 1200. After 1200, networks of exchange grew rapidly due to economic expansion and increased demand for goods. Population growth and urbanization created more consumers and vibrant trade centers. Different regions specialized in products like spices from Asia or textiles from Europe, encouraging merchants to connect across long distances to meet growing markets' needs. Technological innovations also played a crucial role. Advances such as the magnetic compass provided ships designs and better boats made travel and trade faster, safer, and more efficient. Financial tools like credit and bills of exchange reduced risk for merchants, enabling more extensive long-distance commerce. At the same time, political stability, especially under powers like the Mongol Empire, protected trade routes and allowed merchants to travel with less fear of attack. Cultural and religious connections further strengthened these networks. Shared religions like Islam, Buddhism, and Christianity linked distant communities and encouraged trust among traders. Merchants groups established far-reaching partnerships across continents, additionally increasing demand for luxury goods such as silk, spices, and precious metals, motivated traders to explore new routes and expand global exchange networks, making trade more interconnected than ever before. For the second objective, it's going to be about explaining the effects of the growth of networks of exchange after 1200. The expansion of exchange networks after 1200 led to significant economic growth and the rise of prosperous cities. Increased trade created wealth for merchants, rulers, and urban centers, stimulating the development of markets and specialized industries. It also encouraged the spread of new goods and technologies such as paper from China and the use of coins, which further boosted economic activity. Culturally, the growth of trade networks facilitated the exchange of ideas, beliefs, and technologies across regions. Religions like Islam, Buddhism, and Christianity spread along trade routes, influencing societies far from their origins. Knowledge in science, medicine, and navigation traveled between Asia, the Middle East, Africa, and Europe, fostering cultural diffusion and innovation. Politically, the wealth generated by trade contributed to the rise of power states and empires that controlled key trade routes. At the same time, it increased competition and sometimes conflict over control of these lucrative networks. Additionally, the growth of exchange networks helped connect distant religions, laying early foundations for globalization by integrating economies and cultures on an unprecedented scale. Now for the third objective, it will be about explaining the role of environmental factors in the development of networks of exchange in the period from c. 200 to c. 1400. Environmental factors played a crucial role in shaping the development of exchange networks during this period. Geography determined the location and routes of major trade networks like the Silk Road, the Indian Ocean trade, and the Trans-Saharan caravan routes. Natural features such as mountains, deserts, rivers, and seas influence how and where goods could be transported. For example, the Sahara Desert requires specialized knowledge and camels adapted to harsh conditions, while the Indian Ocean monsoon winds allow sailors to plan predictable and efficient voyage. Climate also affected affected trade. The relative stable climate during this period facilitated agriculture, which supported growing populations and urban centers, key consumers and producers in exchange networks. However, environmental challenges like droughts or floods could disrupt production or force migrations, impacting trade temporarily across the natural resources like gold, salt, spice, and timber in different regions also motivated long-distance exchange. Finally, environmental conditions encouraged technological and cultural adaptations that supported trade. Innovations in shipbuilding and navigation, like the use of the astrolabe and Latin sails, were responses to the demand of crossing vast and varied environments. Similarly, the domestication of the camel was essential for traversing arid deserts. These adaptations allowed merchants to overcome environmental barriers and expand trade networks across continents.